Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So, how did this happen? What happened yesterday should have never, ever happened. This ragtag group of QAnon conspiracy theorists and white supremacist militia members stormed our Capitol and were able to invade it. Some had weapons, but it's not like they stormed them with machine guns or rocket launchers. What if these were outside terrorists? What if this was a militant group from another country who wishes to do us harm? How much further would they have gotten? What we all witnessed yesterday, let's stop mincing words. That was an attempted coup. They can try to call it whatever else they want. It was an attempted coup incited by the President of the United States. And if it's allowed to stand with no consequences, this will become a regular occurrence. So how could the Capitol not have been prepared? Who could have seen this coming? Everyone? Anyone who maybe looks at social media? Anyone who's paying attention? Several weeks ago, after the Supreme Court refused to take up the Texas case, some very serious and explicit threats were made on the social media site called Parler. For those of you who don't know what Parler is, it's like Twitter, but it's for the alt-right. It's for conspiracy lunatics. And it was funded partially by one of the most horrifically racist families in the country, the Mercers, or more specifically, Rebecca Mercer is apparently one of the major backers. So I'm going to share with you some of the examples of what MAGA maniacs were saying weeks ago on Parler and why authorities should have had the Capitol surrounded by the National Guard the very first thing in the morning, if not the night before. There were general calls for civil war, such as this post. And if you're on YouTube, you're going to be able to see these. I'm going to post the screenshots that I have of these. But if you are on the podcast, I'm going to read them, or at least the pertinent parts. So this post, as I mentioned, it says, quote, "It looks like martial law or civil war for us." And then there were more overt threats, like what you see on your screen right now. "We will not go down without a fight. DC will burn to the ground. Start at the SCOTUS, then get the commies, all of them. Lynching's coming." The next one says, quote, "Kill those you can get to locally to start with. Leave no trace. It all starts with one." The next one was written by the father of right-wing scammer Jacob Wall, who I've talked about on the show. His string of posts read, "If Donald Trump is not reelected, hundreds will die by my hand." The next post he wrote says, "I will not hesitate to kill anyone who tries to hurt my family." And then he finalizes the thread with, "I am ready for war." The next post refers to various types of guns to issue a threat. It reads, quote, "I guess it's time we appeal to the highest court. Browning, Colt, Smith & Wesson." Now, the next screenshot is a thread of comments. I believe they were from Parler, but they may have been taken from another social media site. By the way, all of these were posted or reposted on Twitter, and these are all going to be from different people. So the first post says, "War it is." The next person writes, "We kill now." The next person responds, "Low-scale asymmetrical warfare." Then another person replies with, "God damn it, buckle the fuck up, here we go." At the bottom of this thread, that at least was screenshotted, writes, "Even the traitors in our families." So, yeah, I mean, these people are even willing to kill their own family members for Donald Trump. Please tell me again, though, how it's not a cult. Please tell me again how these people aren't mentally disturbed. And that's not to bag on people with mental health issues, but we need to be realistic about what's going on here. These people need to be taken in, and we need to get them the help they need because they are clearly unhinged and they're dangerous. So this next post is from a woman who ironically goes by the username of Freedom Lover too. Her post reads in part, "It's time to lock up some of these traitors. Hang them, shoot them, electrocute them. Over 200 plus years ago, they didn't wait around and played these back and forth games. They just executed them. That's it. We cuddle these traitors way too much. It's time to quit playing nice and take action." I'm assuming she meant to write coddle, but now this next post is by far the most explicit threat of violence of all the posts I actually saw. It actually names specific people that they want to, quote, mow down. The poster wrote, quote, "We all need to descend on the inauguration and mow them down. Pelosi, Schumer, corrupt chicken shit judges, two of Congress, I'm not sure. These shots think they have won, but they have set their death sentences and their shit families." The next post is written by someone using the handle RootGrip5. It's explicit yet broad. It's really aimed at everyone on the left because they wrongfully believe the BS from right-wing media. They think that everyone on the left is a socialist, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I wish. They wrote in part, quote, "You little pussies have no idea what's coming your way. Get ready to fight or die. Our country," which is, by the way, written all in caps, "will never succumb to socialism. You who think so will perish trying." I've seen so many of these people make negative references about pussy. Sorry to be so gross and blunt. But then they'll mention testicles as something strong, when in reality, it's the complete opposite. Female body parts push out entire human beings, while testicles, you barely flick them with your finger and the guy goes down. So yeah, no. This was followed by some generalized threats, such as this one, which reads in part, quote, "True patriots will gather their weapons, fight like hell, and yes, a lot of us will die, but we are going to give it our all because America, our freedom, and our rights are worth dying for." So this is, of course, something that a lot of Trump sycophants, including attorney Lynn Wood, has been saying. He has literally been calling for them to sacrifice their lives and telling that it's worth it to die for something that didn't happen, apparently. Another one wrote, quote, "I'm ready for war." And some seem to be planning for the long haul. This person wrote, quote, "The battle horns will be sounded. Plowshares will be made into spears and pruning hooks into swords. The patriots in our country that still have fight in them will come forward to unseat this tyranny. The militia is needed now. Store rice and beans. Contact Republican marksmen and get trained. Wait for the battle lines to be drawn." So clearly this guy hasn't been to a store lately or shopping online, because I don't think you really need to fashion plowshares into spears, and you don't need to waste your time turning pruning hooks into swords. I mean, does he not know that you can buy spears and swords? There's this thing called manufacturing. There's this thing that called steel, and we know how to manipulate it now and make these weapons with machines. So the next person, who I believe is using a fake profile picture, because for those of you on the podcast, it's a picture of a Black woman, and they wrote in part, "It's time for a civil war again. Time to get your guns, ammo, weapons, and hand-to-hand combat ready. The purge is coming." Sorry, this doesn't sound like a Black woman. It doesn't sound like a woman at all to me. And these people on the right are notorious for using profile pictures of Black people and pretending to be Black people when they are as white as snow. And they do it purposely because they try to trick people into thinking that Trump and Republicans have a lot of support in the Black community or with people of color in general. Another post read in part, quote, totally fucking in, but this one is different. This one will not be North versus South. It won't be state versus state. It will be neighbor versus neighbor. This can't be a Saturday at the range. This is quit your job, leave your home, pray your family makes it, war type war. So again, crazy person, you know, talking about killing their neighbors. The other guy was talking about killing his family. And this person is talking about abandoning their family and just going, hey, honey, you know, good luck with that. I'm out of here. I'm going to go kill some people. I might get killed myself, but, you know, you and the kids, hope you're okay. God, these people are insane. Others made threats of war while specifically attacking the Supreme Court justices for this decision. And a lot of these people are well-known misogynists. They clearly have mommy issues that they've never dealt with. And so they directed a ton of hate towards Amy Coney Barrett in many of these posts. Some even accused her of being involved with Jeffrey Epstein, Antifa, and George Soros. I mean, she was literally brought to the Republicans, brought to Trump for nomination by the Federalist Society or one of those similar groups. I can't remember. She is as conservatives come. So here's one example of one of these. For this post includes a lot of expletives and insults directed towards her, including the C word. And they write, quote, war, we need to go. The next post reads, quote, you know the saying, when the ballot box fails, the ammo box is next. I don't think those black robes are bulletproof. So, you know, pretty almost direct threat towards the Supreme Court justices. Another poster wrote, SCOTUS is fake news. All we have now is Glock sandwiches for all 26 of them. Yeah, I have to question if this person is just really, really dense and uninformed, because we do not have 26 Supreme Court justices. And then the next one is someone who goes by the name of Rhino Slayer, which of course stands for Republican in name only. They wrote, quote, who are you going to shoot first? The Supreme Court rhinos, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and ACB sold out Trump. Could be taken as a direct threat against those three. There were many more saying that it's time for civil war and similar proclamations, but you get the point. But dear God, where do I start with this insanity? I mean, first of all, the grammatical errors. Oh, dear Lord. I am not some elitist. I didn't even go to college, but dear God, our educational system is really a disgrace. If these posts represent 20% or more of the country, it's no wonder. It's no wonder they fell for Trump's lies. It's no wonder they fell for QAnon conspiracies. QAnon has never been right once, yet they keep falling for it. They keep thinking, oh, the next one. I mean, the military was supposed to be protecting Donald Trump and taking down all the pedophile Democrats. How's that working out? We're now 13 days away from Biden taking office. How's that working out for you, QAnon conspiracy theorists? Dear God, we need to educate people better. I mean, we're staring down the barrel of the result of that, of our poor educational system. But I also love how these people think of themselves as patriots. I mean, again and again in these posts, they mention, oh, true patriots, we're the patriots. Oh, patriots are going to take the country back, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, so many of them were running around DC and the Capitol building yesterday waving Confederate flags. I mean, again, you have to wonder if they're just so uneducated and ignorant that they don't realize that that's literally the flag of traitors to America. It is literally the flag of people who tried to overthrow the government so they could retain the right to keep people as slaves. But I guess it's pretty fitting for this bunch because it is the flag of losers. who had their asses handed to them. So yeah, keep flying the loser flag. My next thought is back to my original. How could they not have known? How could they not be prepared? And as far as the Capitol Police are concerned, I know that some fought and they did what they could. There's videos out there of that. But I shared yesterday some literally open the gates, open barriers for them, and allowed them to stroll onto the Capitol grounds. And now there's a video circulating of one Capitol cop taking a selfie with these terrorists. So take a look and listen.
That I have. The Capitol with my man. ACAF. That I have.
So not only do you see this guy taking a selfie with these people who, let's be clear, they stormed the Capitol, they invaded the Capitol with weapons, some of them. They were there to do harm. Did you see how many other cops in that video were just standing around? They act like this is like social hour. Oh, it's a white supremacist reunion or something. Seriously? As I said yesterday, if these were black or brown skinned people, not only would they no longer be standing in the Capitol building, having social time with cops, trading recipes, they would have been carried out on stretchers or in body bags. How many protests have we seen in the Capitol with the House members or with Senate members? And they're peacefully protesting things like Medicare for all or a Green New Deal or whatever the case may be, or not getting rid of Obamacare. And they put these people on the ground and they put zip ties on them and they carry them out if they have to. Where was all of that? But in the end, it wasn't even Trump that finally called in the National Guard. It was Mike Pence. Trump refused, and then, to my understanding, there was a bunch of haggling. That's what's being reported in the press. And then Pence had to issue the order. After everything Pence has done for Trump, Trump literally put his life in jeopardy yesterday. And he didn't care. Reports are that he was loving this. Trump needs to go. He needs to be out immediately. I know Nancy Pelosi now is even calling for it, which I really didn't think she would do. I thought that she was far too feckless and weak, but even she is calling for it. Manufacturing groups are now calling for the 25th Amendment, which that may actually work because money is the only thing that speaks. They only care what their donors have to say. So the pressure is mounting. I'm hoping, because this guy is dangerous, he needs to be out. A message needs to be sent. And we can't allow this to become normalized and the precedent that if you don't like the results of the election, you can literally call for an uprising. You can literally have people storm the Capitol, threaten people's lives, and literally try to commit a coup. Remember when Hillary Clinton lost and Democrats stormed the Capitol, all Capitol buildings across the country, which is actually what happened yesterday. It ended up happening in a bunch of different cities, and broke windows and broke in with weapons and took the place over and threatened lives. Yeah, neither do I. So I don't want to hear any more about it. I don't want to hear any more about how Democrats have acted over the last 4 years. Don't try to both sides this bullshit. There's no comparison. Absolutely no comparison. All right, guys, as always, take care. I will talk with you soon. Thanks so much for watching and listening. And I'll let you know when I hear more.